I wish to know who was responsible for last night's outrage.
Huawei Show. Huawei Show.
These my dear sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wild West Show Radio TV. This is your boy DJ Grizzly, and today I'm with Nonkoliseko Selepe.
Yes.
Shapilete.
Yes, we shapilete.
Mare, why do you have isiZulu neSetswana all in one?
It's Xhosa and
Oh, it's close. It's a violation here. You know?
Yes.
How did it come about? Is it your parents?
I'm Xhosa.
Okay.
And I got married to Selepe, though I ran away. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, I wanted to ask something, but it's going to be irrelevant. Let me leave it alone.
All right.
Yeah. So, the reason why we are here today, we want to educate the public on HIV and circumcision.
Yes.
Like, I want to start with a circumcision. You know, as young people growing up, actually before I even get to circumcision and AIDS, as young people growing up, we find ourselves being influenced so much with no man, thola lo msebenzi, unemali laphaya, thola lo msebenzi, ubani bani, wenza imali. Like, how was your life coming up? How were your influences prior to you having a job? What did you want to do?
Kahle, I wanted to be a nurse.
You've always wanted to be a nurse?
I've always wanted to be the nurse because I wanted to help people. I wanted to help the community.
All right, so
How?
like we are. So how old are you when you decided to go to Maruba?
I think my early high school years.
Early high school.
Around, yes,
So in primary,
eight,
in
nine.
primary, how were you then? Were you helpful also in primary, or did this eagerness to help start at high school?
I think it started at my very young age.
Yeah.
I've been trying to help people, and I grew up staying with my granny and my grandpa, with my siblings and other people,
Yeah.
Banababu Malume and all that.
Also, a big family.
Yes, we were a very big family.
So this is very interesting. The first time that you ever helped anyone in your life, be it like status, do you still remember the first thing that you did that made you think, but I love this?
You know, our grandfather.
Yeah.
He somehow wasn't healthy.
Okay.
In a London.
Okay.
So I would every day I give him 17, pour some water, and then him and make sure to write. By then I didn't.
Yeah.
For me, I was enjoying it.
Yes.
Because even if I would ask manje mkhulu, when are we?
So growing up with your grandparents, where were your parents then?
My parents were around.
Okay.
My mother was working as a domestic worker,
Okay.
so staying there.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was around.
Your father was your father.
Yeah. He was my father. He was around.
So who did you bond with, and who did you connect with more? Your grandfather, or your grandmother?
Both of them.
Who did you love more?
I loved them both.
Okay.
Because most of the time we were with them, and then now and then, like month end, my mother would be there. Then we would be.
Because the reason why I'm asking this is because I'm trying to get to a certain point. Because in my mind, I'm thinking sometimes you help a person whether uphethwe because of love. You know, whether umuntu nesilonda, whether umuntu is positive, whether umtu suffering from cancer or umtu has moshela, you help them because you love them.
Yes.
But because the stranger, like let me use a stranger, you cannot give the same help because this person is not emotionally attached
That's
to
true
you.
to you. That's true.
Yeah, so I'm guessing on your side it was about love.
It was.
So we get to high school now. So high school, you wanted to be a nurse. Is this you close to finishing, or just during school you're like, if I can learn this, it'll make sense to my life?
As I've said, it was in my early high school years,
Okay.
or grade 8, 9, as they call them now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was during that time, and I felt that if I can be a nurse someday, then I would help the community. Even the community we were staying around, we were staying in Everton.
Okay.
So the environment, you would see that people somehow need some help, needs education. Yes.
Okay.
However, because we didn't have the money as we grow up, then my parents couldn't take me to university.
So I'm thinking the first facility, okay, why attend that? Not to learn or anything, but for an experience, maybe a flu or something, a clinic, because you had clinics.
Yes.
So Mount in a clinic, now you're in high school, let's say you're in grade 12. Mount in a clinic, what's the first thing that you saw that was wrong?
It was obviously the attitude of the service providers.
Okay.
Yes, because I remember, if you can look at me here, I have an operation. So I had some things that were growing.
Okay.
And they said to me, no, there's nothing there. That's just don't use earrings. Without even talking to me, finding out what is happening. So it was all that an attitude. Yes.
All right. So you now studying to be a nurse. Where did you
I
attend?
couldn't study to be a nurse.
Okay.
As I've said, my parents couldn't afford it.
Okay.
And then immediately after matric, I only stayed home 1 year. Then the following year, we were now in Orange Farm. Then the following year, there was an advert that there's this place and they need volunteers to be trained. And then they will see after training what to do.
Okay.
Then I applied there.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they took me. I started work December 1st, 1995.
All right.
And they were calling us community-based distributors.
Okay.
What is done by Wabot now, if you know Wabot, you would take your
Is this volunteer or was it paid?
It was paying. After
Okay.
training,
All right.
we were employed.
Okay.
It was an NPO with a 1 year contract.
Yes.
Then we started working there. What Wabot is doing now, you would have your bag. By then, we were distributing contraceptives, which is the condoms and oral contraceptives.
Okay.
And you would have your BP machine inside your bag, your IEC material, and then you go door to door.
So now, your first feeling, but was an uncle like bag, yeah, couldn't whatever. Like how was that feeling? Did you feel like a doctor? Like how was that feeling for you?
Even before getting the bag.
Yes.
Just to say, I remember we trained, we were about 6 of us.
Yeah.
We trained for 6 weeks. And then we had to wait for the results because there were only positions for 4 people.
Yes.
Then we were like waiting. And then they said to us, no, we will bring you the letters of the outcomes.
Okay.
And they brought the letter at home. You don't know whether to open it or not, what's happening. And when I opened it, it was saying, you know what, you've been successful.
Yes.
So you should start on the state.
Yeah.
And for me was, yes.
All right. So now, your first experience meeting a person who was a person who is HIV positive. Like this is your first experience with Tlangananai. Was this an experience that you had at home or was it an experience that you had at work?
It was the experience that I had at work.
How was it? Like,
And
you know, it's very scary to talk about something so dangerous, and then when you have one-on-one session with this person, like what was going through your mind?
I would say when I started working, I wasn't much exposed
Okay.
to people who are HIV positive. I worked for that organization for about 12 years, and then I was retrenched.
Okay.
When retrenched, I applied for a position in Western area where I am now.
Yes.
At the REP project. Then I got the position as an administrator.
All right.
And then there was a coordinator. I always offer my assistance wherever I am. And then this lady who was working, we came up with manuals and all that. And then on the other day...
Manuals that you drafted?
Yes,
Oh,
with the information that I had.
All right.
Then, because as I'm saying, I started working as a CBD agent, and then I became a team leader after 2 years. And then after that, there was this thing of Love Life Y Center.
I remember that. Does Love Life still exist?
Yes, it
Okay.
still exists, though it's no longer popular like before. Then with Love Life, I became a life skills educator.
Okay.
I was doing life skills all the way, training. And then after some years, I became the provincial training coordinator for Gauteng,
Yes.
for Love Life. Then I was training your groundbreakers, your PNG on life skills and computer skills.
Okay.
Then coming to Western area, I had that experience with me. So I suggested to this lady, let's come up with some manuals just to guide us. Because then the organization was specifically dealing with sex workers.
Okay.
Then we were recruiting them wherever they are and then training them so that they can be able to talk to their peers.
Okay.
Because it was difficult for us to access them.
So now, were you out looking for sex workers, or did you just put out something that said, if you are, just see us at this facility?
What I found when I got there was that the outreach coordinator that was there who had few people they know. And then those people would say, okay, there's a corner in Kloof in Mambondo where there are ladies, we can go there and see what is happening.
Okay, so did you go there?
Yes, we did.
And how was the response when you got there?
It was not easy, to be honest, because remember the sex workers being there, they are minding their business, they are minding their clients. So if I come in, they see me as a threat to say she's going to disturb us on our business. They don't even want to listen to you. What are you coming with? But we went there with the coordinator, and gradually they understood the organization and how.
So speaking to a sex worker, what is the most common thing that they all talk about?
They all say, I'm here, but this is not where I want to be, or this is not what I want to do in life.
Okay.
They have different experiences, different reasons why they were there. Yes, and they were coming like from all over. For me, it was a first experience because I was not exposed to that. But then I had to.
Okay. Your phone, can you just move it a bit? Okay. Yeah. So now the youth in Western area, are these people that you also talk to? Do you go to them and talk to them about the AIDS and stuff like that, or do they come to you? Like, what is the response with them?
Our organization is a community-based organization.
Okay.
So we go to people. We educate people.
Yes.
Right now, because we deal with the Department of Health, which is also one of our funders. We go to the community. So now we are dealing with Western area. Western area, which is Western area Borwa, Western area, the mining areas in Lebanon, and then we also have the part of informal settlement in Pakistan.
So Western area, when you got there and working there, do you think it needs a lot of help, or is there progress since you've been there?
When I started there, like I said before, to say that's where I experienced most things. Your sex workers, your HIV positive people. And for me, it was somehow sort of a shock because for them, if you were HIV positive, there was nothing wrong.
Yes.
And for me, where I'm coming from, I was like, really, how are these people living? But with working with them, I started with the organization in 2005.
Okay.
Up to date. So for me, working with them, hearing where they come from, why they are doing this, then I had to understand. So even young people, yes, we do service them. They do come as we put on our gazebos wherever that we are working in Western area, Pakistan. Then they would come for information, for testing as well.
So I have a newfound knowledge about prevention for HIV and how the process is prior to you getting pills. So your PrEP pills, your PEP pills, your ARVs. When you set up your gazebos, is there something that you carry with you, or are you not allowed to carry it? That you need to refer them somewhere else?
No, we're not carrying any medication with us. We only do the testing.
Yes.
Yes, and then if the person needs PrEP or PEP, or even the person tests positive, then we refer them to the facility.
Okay.
We have linkage officers that we work with them. They are our staff members. Then if the client says, I'm afraid to go to the clinic, can you accompany me? Then they do that to the facility, and others would say, no, I'll make time and go. Then we just follow up on them if they did go and get the service.
And thinking about like your level of knowledge that you picked up throughout the years, like in terms of counseling a person, have you done it before?
Yes, I did.
You have.
Yes.
So if a person comes to you, like I'm a young person, okay, I just found out I'm sick. What's the process to talking to me, to opening up, to what led me to be sick and medications and stuff? Like what is your process? How do you talk to people?
I think, let's say in a gazebo setup.
Okay.
In a gazebo setup, you first do the pre-counseling.
Okay. What is pre-counseling?
To say you want to test.
Okay.
And then...
Or before you test, you counsel.
Yes, I give you information.
Okay.
And I also give you possibilities to say your blood test may come up negative or positive.
Okay.
And if negative, how will you react? And if positive, how will you react? And if a negative, as an organization, what is it that we'll do for you? If reactive, then as an organization, this is the step we are going to do. It means we'll involve another person with the issues of confidentiality as well.
Okay.
To say a linkage officer is one of our staff members, and also the facility that we are going to, they will never disclose your information to anybody.
Okay.
So those are the steps that you will take. And
Right.
then after having that counseling sessions, answering the questions and concerns from the client, then you test the person.
Have you ever came across a person that found out to go to their positive and then they contemplated suicide, or you've came across them to counsel them and now they want to kill themselves?
Yes, we did. They come in and then the other one would say, no, these are not my results. And then we'll try and give them time to say, okay, just deal with it, think about it, and then when we are ready, we can come and do another test, or we can refer you to a social worker at the facility or adherence counselors.
And how do you deal with, sorry to cut you, how do you deal with people that refuse to take medication?
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem because there are those who would say, I'm not ready to take your medication. We had this client, I think she tested in 2021, and she said, no, I don't want to go to the facility.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take treatment. So she would go and test with different names, the date of birth. She will just play around with it, but she totally refused to go to the facility.
Is there certain counseling for people like that?
We do try and offer, but if the person doesn't want to go to the
There's nothing
facility,
you can do about
it
it.
becomes very difficult. Because at least at the facility, there are social workers who are professional in counseling. But if the person says, I am not going to the facility, at least if a person says, okay, I'll go to the facility and talk to the social worker.
By facility, are we talking about the clinic?
We're talking about the clinic, yes. Yes.
All right. So your organization is in the premises of a clinic.
We are working outside the clinic, but
Okay.
we always refer. We have Western Area Clinic, Glen Harvey Clinic, Tusanang Clinic. We have Begestale East and West Clinic.
Also, you cover all of them.
Yes,
Okay.
we cover all of them. Even other clients would say we will go to Porky, which is out of West Rand. It's now in COJ, but we do cater for them. And once we refer them, we do a follow-up if they went to the clinic and what were the results.
All right. So you also deal with a circumcision.
Yes, we do.
Right. So briefly, your opinion, circumcision. Why is it so important to circumcise when we as men are originally born with foreskin? It's part of us.
It's very important
Okay.
for circumcision. Number one, for cleanliness.
Okay.
And the second issue would be for prevention of infections.
Okay.
Remember the foreskin, the way it's shaped, whatever that comes in, it takes.
It keeps it.
Yes, and
Okay.
keeps it. So it's very important if you are circumcised as a man for those reasons.
All right. So you being Umxhosa and partly Umtswana, like, you know, ukuthi, like, between AmaZulu and AmaXhosa, there's a deep religion following. You know, your religion, your traditional beliefs. You know, do you have any opinion on circumcisions in the mountains?
Not really, because as I said earlier, my father was my father
Yes.
here, there, and there. So most of the time we were doing what is done at my mother's side.
Okay.
So we were not exposed to my father's side.
Okay.
As a result, most of my brothers went to the clinic for circumcision,
Okay.
not to the mountain.
So being a worker, have you ever had to deal with the situation of a young man from the mountain coming to you at, hey, now I've got infections and I need help? Have you ever came across that?
No.
Not even once.
No.
Okay, and because they do things in the winter, is the season something that we need to be aware of before we circumcise, or is it just a community discussion that we have? You know, yaga winter because it heals faster than, you know.
Now, I think it's the myth and the beliefs. I think they took it from, we say we're waiting for schools to close, then we would circumcise, especially young people. Because you'd find that in June there are more days than any other month where they are home, then you would recruit them more. Otherwise, it's not seasonal. Circumcision, it's done 365 days. If you are aware, even in the rural areas, especially the Xhosas, they are now preparing for December. So that's how they do it. So it's not seasonal.
Yes.
And you can do it at any time. And
Alright.
even the process of healing, it's the same time, 3 to 5 days.
The process of healing, I think it's the individual, no? Because honestly, I went to go get circumcised and I didn't even feel any pain. Like, it was just normal for me the whole time. And you find some other people who, you know, they experience pain. Some other people experience infections. Like, when they do come back to you, like, how do you deal with that?
Yes, the process of healing, it depends on an individual. And the second issue that we've experienced, it's with young males, whereby you get that they are not properly cleaned.
Okay.
Their wounds are not properly cleaned. Then it takes longer to heal. We would take him back to the clinic, and then they would check and give medication or whatever. Obviously, it will take long. But as long as it's cleaned, you follow what you've been educated on at the facility before and after the circumcision, then there's no stress.
So, do you visit schools to encourage youth for circumcisions and testing for AIDS and stuff like that. What is the most common questions that you've gotten from young people? Because I know they have a lot to say.
They do.
Yeah.
Recently, we are not allowed to go into schools.
Okay.
The department doesn't allow us to do that.
Okay.
Then we only deal with them outside.
Does this cause a strain on the program that you're running?
It does. However, because with circumcision, you need parents' consent to do anything that you need to do to the child.
Yes.
Then at school there are no parents, so I don't think the teacher would take all that responsibility to say do it. But if we do home visits and we take a gazebo and call parents in a campaign, sort of, then they would get the information and get the consent forms when they are there to understand.
And since you write manuals about how to better, health situations, have you thought of a new way to encourage young people to get tested and to encourage young people to get circumcised?
I'm no longer writing the manuals.
Okay. No, but they're in your mind.
Yes,
I guess it's your creativity.
They are.
Yes.
But anyway, I think we need to get something. I can't put my hands on it. But
Okay.
the way we doing things, it's like once the people saw the Rep Gazebo Retinho HIV/AIDS project, they become scared and they don't want to come. However, I think the issue of having young people in the gazebos, it's encouraging them somehow.
But do they come to the
come.
gazebos?
They do, but then most of the people who come to the gazebos, they know their status. And most of the time they are negative. Yes. Those would find where after testing the results would be reactive, would be very few.
All right. So is there anything that you'd also want to continue talking about that I missed, like now?
I think the issue of the communities taking ownership of the programs that we offer. Remember, an NPO is for the community.
Yes.
It's not mine. It's the help that I'm giving to the community, and whatever services that we are giving to the community are free of charge.
Yes.
We don't charge people for anything. So they need to use that so that they access that information. We know it's not easy for them to just jump and go to the clinic. But coming to the gazebo, they know they'll get a young person they'll be able to talk to, and the person is having all the time and looking at one client that is in the gazebo at that time.
So you're struggling a lot with the community using your NGO to progress into being a healthier,
Yes.
people in
Yes.
in the community.
Yes.
All right, but I'm thinking now that you came here,
Yes.
they will see
improve,
and
yes.
and maybe the influence will spread a bit more.
Exactly.
But adults, young people, who would you like to encourage more a Western area?
Young people and adults in their early 30s downwards, they also need to use the facilities.
Yeah. And do you have any inspirational or important words that you would like to share with the community of Western area before we close the interview?
Yes, I would say to them they just need to come. The services are there for them and they are free at any time.
All right, and how do they, besides the gazebos, some people go to work and young people are active, they play sports. How else can they contact you? Do you have online pages? Do you have numbers? How can they get a hold of you besides coming to the gazebo? Because sometimes it's scary. I'm thinking about it. As you're talking about it, I'm thinking about it because, okay, I'm walking to the gazebo. Now people are thinking, do you have any form of contact that they can reach you on?
Yes, we do have a Facebook page,
Okay.
which is a rep project.
Mm.
They can get us there, and we also have a contact number
Okay.
that is 072
Yes.
42
Mm.
70 180.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for the information. I hope we're not leaving anything out.
You're welcome. I think the last thing is that the community need to know that whatever that we are doing, we don't just think during the night and implement it in the morning.
Yes.
We do follow what is being done by our government. We are here because we are assisting and working together with our government. And as NPOs, we also members of the AIDS Council in the Gauteng province and nationally.
Okay.
And in whatever that we implement, we follow what has been suggested or implemented by the Department of Health. Your national health strategy for STIs, HIV and TB, we follow that to implement what we are doing in the communities.
All right. Let me just give you the whole show so you can do it, because you're very good at speaking. Yeah. All right. Now, thank you very much, ladies and gents. Please don't forget to subscribe and check out our website. And thank you very much for sharing this with your friends. Let's spread the word and not HIV. And circumcise.
And circumcised.
Peace.